I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it.
Hello amigos. Welcome to Move It Movie. As today's movie porter, we are introducing one of the hit movies recently, Space Jam: A New Legacy. Directed by Malcolm D. Lee, Space Jam: A New Legacy opens not unlike its predecessor. Basketball great LeBron James gets the Goon Squad back together to save his son from an evil algorithm in this lame sequel to the 1996 film. It's Tunes vs. Goons in the highest stakes challenge of his life, which will redefine LeBron's bond with his son and shine a light on the power of being yourself. The ready-for-action Tunes destroy convention, supercharge their unique talents, and surprise even King James by playing the game their own way. A few callbacks here and there notwithstanding, that's about where the direct similarities to the Michael Jordan Space Jam end. A New Legacy is focused not just on solidifying James's on-court bona fides, but also in casting him as a hardcore family man with values. The central conflict involves middle child Dom, Cedric Joe, who is less interested in following in his dad's sneakers than he is in creating his own video. James, an interest that befuddles and disappoints LeBron. This tension transfers over when LeBron and Dom suddenly find themselves sucked into the Warner Brothers serververse. There they encounter LG Rhythm, an AI figure played by a very game Don Cheadle who has an axe to grind with LeBron because the athlete clowned his idea to insert a digitized version of James into Warner Brothers' biggest movies. The studio bosses who pitched this idea to LeBron include Sarah Silverman and Steven Yeun, running away with those paychecks. LG, hell-bent on fame and respect, challenges LeBron to a viral ball game. If LeBron wins, he and Dom can go home, and if LG's team wins, LeBron and Dom must stay in the server forever. LeBron, himself now animated, at least for a bit, is banished to Toon World, where he assembles a team with Bugs Bunny and the rest of the gang. Dom remains with LG, who nefariously steals the tech that went into the boys' video game creation, which involves digitizing the styles of other famous pro ball players like Diana Taurasi and Anthony Davis. To be honest, the character motivations are so slight, and the plot machinations so convoluted, they mostly take a back seat to all of the self-mythologizing, of which there is a copious amount. Though as early as the first few minutes of the movie, when 1998 LeBron is seen briefly playing a Looney Tunes Game Boy game, you may begin to wonder who's being served more by this extremely self-referential exercise in corporate shilling, James or Warner Brothers. The original Space Jam was derived from Jordan's TV adverts for Nike, and so there was a winking self-awareness baked into the film. The sequel, on the other hand, seems to earnestly revel in the recyclable potential of the WB archive. Its elastic, mile-a-minute animated sequences insert Lola Bunny into the world of Wonder Woman and send Tweety and Granny into the Matrix. James's natural charisma should allow the film to soar, but he's bogged down by an avalanche of distracting cameos, from Gremlins to Game of Thrones. Then it comes down to a question of who, exactly, is this movie for? Anytime vanity is involved in a project of this nature, the die-hard fans will find something to love. I can speak from the experience of owning a VHS copy of the Moonwalker VHS when I was an MJ-obsessed kid, and watching it over and over. Even though Space Jam is an obvious hour-and-a-half commercial, if you're of a certain age, like I am, the franchise reserves a warm place in your heart. There are other millennials who, to this day, ride hard for the original Space Jam on a wave of wistfulness for their youth. The story streamlines considerably in the film's second half, when LeBron is exiled to the Looney Tunes world, where Bugs Bunny is the sole inhabitant. LG, he explains, has sent Bugs' cartoon pals to other, more profitable worlds. Together, they assemble the rest of the Looney Tunes from across the serververse, which means finding them in scenes from movies like The Matrix and Austin Powers. While it's easy to clown on ideas like this and a rapping Porky Pig, this is classic kids movie stuff, action that looks goofy enough to make children giggle, while eliciting a few knowing chuckles from stressed-out parents who barely have time to watch anything for adults. Yet even watching A New Legacy with a fondness for the first Space Jam, and a leniency that's necessary for a lot of kids' movies, it's hard to not be overwhelmed by so many questions.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like